Hi guys, I'm just leaving my friend's house, which is in, is it Suffolk? On the border of Suffolk and Norfolk here in the UK. I'm not sure exactly. Well, I'm sure exactly where she lives, but for her own privacy I don't want to say the actual town, so I'll be quiet. It's on the East Coast anyway. Maybe, yeah. East Coast. That's how I remember as a child. Northeast, southwest. Never eat shredded wheat. That's how we used to remember. So, yeah. So recently, I haven't had much money. So I was reduced to eating junk food, because junk food in the reduced section in the co-op here where I've been living with my friend, she only had, we only have access to that co-op, and the reduced section has got like cakes, biscuits, bread. It's all got wheat and sugar, but like in the last few days I've had not much to eat healthy food like meat or fish or like organic eggs or something like that, and fresh vegetables. You see, some people might be saying, well, why do you need fresh vegetables? Well, because I have to eat organic and fresh vegetables, because the non-organic produce has got things that will make my gut even worse. My gut is not good, so it damages my gut even more. So I'd rather buy, sometimes you can't buy organic because it's not available. I'd rather buy organic and fresh and just eat less, you know. So instead of eating a big meal, just a small meal. But my fat body of 110 kilos requires more food, you know. So just close the windows, otherwise people will be complaining. Oh, she got stuck in the window. Betty's head got stuck there. Betty, that's strange, because you know when you pull up the window and you put your hand there, it will sense the pressure and it will quickly come back down, but it didn't there. That's strange. Maybe it didn't actually hit her neck, it was going up and then she was panicking. That's dangerous. Or maybe it's not. Well, it is dangerous if she panicked and shook her head and it broke the glass, and you know I always think of the most negative things, but yeah, I'll make note of that. So anyway, she's okay. You're okay, aren't you, Betty? You were just shocked a little bit. Yeah, but automatically the window will go down again once it senses some pressure, like a hand or a head, it will go back down. You should just try it. Put your hand in a window and close it, if it's an electric one, not manually, and it will kind of recoil, it will go back once it senses the pressure there. So going back home, as I said, in the last 3 days I haven't had enough food, and the problem is I have to ask my wife for money, and as a man it feels really horrible asking your wife or a woman, or even a man, asking another person for money, you know, and that person might think or say, well, where's the money gone? I gave you money a few weeks ago. The problem is, like, I ask for 200 quid every 2 weeks, the very minimum, so that's £100 a week for myself and for the dogs, just for food. But sometimes things come up, like Timmy's like medical expenses. Luckily my friend paid for it. It's so bad to your friend, you make her sleep on the sofa, take all her money money. Woman who's got cancer. Can't stand these people talking like that. First of all, I don't see her as a person who's got cancer, a cancer survivor. You know how rude, how disrespectful that is to a person who's had cancer. You see them as a cancer patient or cancer survivor. First of all, they're a human being. They're not a cancer survivor. And, it's horrible because you keep reminding that one person or reinforcing a fear, instead of bringing them up, bringing that woman up and saying, you're okay now, So I never call her a cancer survivor. I always say, you're strong and stuff like that. I try and encourage her to eat better because I suppose for many people, once the cancer's gone, I say gone because many cancer survivors that I've survived, you see, I'm doing it now. Many people who've had cancer say that no, the cancer's never gone. So, and that's a good way to think about it because you're always not on alert, but you're always cautious and not to go back to lifestyle habits that may bring down your immune system, stress, eating really badly, like junk food, sleepless nights, insomnia, whatever, taking drugs or whatever people do that could be harming their bodies and their minds, their spirit. You have to take that into account. Not even, I was going to say once a person has cancer, not even that, because we all have the process of cancer going on in our bodies. I think I did read once about 2 million times in a person's life. The process of cancer begins, but it stops before it reaches a few billion cells. So that's noticeable. Your immune system mops it up, deals with it. But as you get older, you can have these mutations, and then your immune system, is out of whack. Your aging itself brings on kind of risks when it comes to cancer. So, and when it comes to all diseases, metabolic disease and so many other diseases, because your body isn't as robust as it used to be. And so, unfortunately, it allows for these things to happen. So, as you get older, you have to look after yourself even more. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so for 3 days, and she sleeps on the settee downstairs, and I sleep in the bed. So, a lady was saying, cancer survivor. She's a cancer survivor, and you should sleep on the sofa, Gerald. Well, the fact is that she usually, even when I'm not there, she sleeps on the settee because it's really comfortable. But I've tried, and it does my neck in. It really hurts my neck because I've got arthritis in the neck. So she said once, well, you sleep upstairs, and because I'm used to sleeping on the settee. And that's stuck every time I go there. She just says, no, sleep on the bed, and I sleep on the settee. And she's really nice. And so the way I see it is, I don't see her as oh no, you sleep in your bed because you're a cancer survivor. I see her as normal. I see her as strong, and that vibe, I send her that vibe and say, I always say, of course, thanks for letting me sleep on your bed. Are you okay? I always say, are you okay? Do you want to sleep? I can sleep on the settee. She says, no, I'm fine. So I say, okay. So I treat her as normal, as a normal human being, a healthy human being that can take it. But I do check to see if she's had a sleepless night, things like that. So I'm not entirely stupid. So anyway, there's that question there. I do have my own, I do have a conscience as well, and I do think, is it right? what I'm doing. I'm allowing her to give me her bed, and then she sleeps on the settee. And she quickly, I ask her, she quickly bats that down and says, yeah, sure, it's not a problem. So, when I hear that, I think, oh, okay, all right. I think, oh, maybe she's just trying to be polite, but she's seen me suffer with my neck. I've had so much pain. Like sometimes it's a bit cold, or I've eaten the wrong food, I've been on the computer too long, and I think it's that neck that causes the ocular migraine, the scintillating scotoma. And I'm in so much pain, a lot of pain. I have to put something warm on my neck, and I have to lie down. I can't do anything. So she's seen me in pain, and so we have that arrangement. But always when I go there, I say, look, I'll sleep now. I'm not that forceful because I know my neck is going to hurt. But she also says, no, you stay there. You go upstairs and I'll stay here. So, yeah, there's that question answered. So for 3 days, I've been probably more than 3 days, I've been eating junk. Because now I understand when you see those people with their trolleys, they've got all junk food, like 2 or 3 litre Coke bottles, crisps, white bread, biscuits, cakes. They've got no vegetables. They've got maybe some bacon or some bacon and eggs, like no real food. All processed food. So it makes sense that these people are going to get more and more sick eventually. Yeah, it makes sense that they're buying all this food because this food is cheap. I've noticed it myself. If you buy the Tesco's own brand of Coke, for example, it's so cheap, and it kind of fills you up. It satisfies you for an hour or two, and then you drink a little bit more, and it keeps you going. It gives you the energy during the day. But I haven't bought any Coke or anything like that. I just got like pastries that were really cheap, white bread that was really cheap, and I thought add in a few carbohydrates because at the moment I'm coming off Seroxan or Paxil, and I'll explain to you what's going on with that at the moment. As I taper down, I'm going to get days when I've got really terrible palpitations and anxiety and everything is just stressful, and so let's see. Motorbike, I think that wants to overtake, but I'm just worried that they might overtake at the wrong place. I'm doing my 50 miles an hour here, so they could overtake here, but there's a bridge here. Yeah, anyway, so what's happened is like if you've got histamine or MCAS, MCAS. MCAS is mast cell activation syndrome, where your mast cells granulate, histamine is released. It's almost like an autoimmune disease. Yeah, that is really terrible. So I'm not sure if I have borderline MCAS, or you either have it or you don't, or just the histamine. My histamine bucket is full. So what I mean is that I've been eating some junk food. Now my body will tolerate some junk food, will tolerate a packet of crisps if I'm eating some meat and vegetables and fruits that are kind of low glycemic. Or papaya is okay, cucumber is okay, but once I start abusing, so I didn't have enough money to buy those good foods. So I had beans on toast, normal beans, which were in a tin that are high in histamine. So the toast is just normal white bread toast or brown toast. White bread is better because the whole grain is probably worse for my gut. But again, wheat. So you have many insults. The beans themselves are bad. They've been in a tin, which is high in histamine, and tomato is high in histamine. So there's 3 strikes here. Then you've got bread, white bread. That's bad because it's bleached, I suppose, but also it's wheat. So then I had really cheap pastries, rice I can't have. So my histamine bucket is full, and all I need is to be in the kitchen where it's a bit damp, a little bit of mold, a little bit of dust, dog down there, that's it. So that bucket overfills and I'm sneezing my brains out, my nose is leaking, eyes itchy, and so that's the situation I'm in now. So my body is in allergic or intolerance kind of response state. My immune system is fired up. Why don't you take an antihistamine? The more antihistamines you take, the worse it is for your histamine problem. It makes it worse. So if you're trying to heal, I suppose if the histamine response lasts for a long time, say if it lasts for a whole day or 2 days, then I suppose you have to weigh up the stress on your immune system and your neuroinflammation, maybe body, with taking an antihistamine. If it's for a few hours, then I won't take an antihistamine. If it lasts a whole day, and then the next day I might make a mistake and it continues, then I'll take an antihistamine. I'm not sure if it's antihistamines or some other medication are cholinergic. Is that how you say it? Cholinergic. I think it's Benadryl. Yeah, Benadryl is actually cholinergic. Things like amitriptyline also increase that problem with choline. So one of the reasons why I'm coming off is because Paxil is the most anti-cholinergic of the SSRIs, which means it messes about with acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is required for memory, and so some doctors in the past, I think about 6 or 9 months ago, I saw a video about it. The doctor was saying that there is a higher risk of dementia for people who take SSRIs, in particular Paxil, because it's the most anti-cholinergic of the SSRIs, so it saps acetylcholine. So at the moment, and a friend of mine was talking to that person, and they reminded me, and I thought, oh shit, it's true. You know, sometimes you forget things because you're doing so many other things. Also, omeprazole, there's a higher risk of dementia because it saps B vitamins, zinc, and nutrients that are required for the brain, in particular memory. So that's why I'm coming off both medications. Funnily enough, the omeprazole is going to be more difficult to come off than the Paxil. Paxil, like mentally, emotionally, will be and physically will be very difficult to come off because of palpitations, you know, mental anguish, you know. It feels like you're going into a hell. But omeprazole is a purely physical thing. Once you stop taking omeprazole or reduce, the proton pumps that create acid then start to wake up. You have rebound acid. So the proton pumps wake up and they start to create more acid than normal. And in some studies it says it could take up to 3 months for those proton pumps to die down and to stabilize. So I've got my brain. It's going to take a long time to stabilize, and proton pumps in my stomach. So I'm going to have to counter that and preempt it with lifestyle factors, supplements, herbs. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm a bit dizzy at the moment. Maybe all this talking. So I'll speak to you guys later, okay? I've got this motorbike that wants to overtake as well. I'll speak to you guys later. Bye.